What's up, YouTube? Got a little cut on my nose, but I'll explain that in a second. So one thing I want to talk to you about real quick is your language, and I'm creating a coaching course on this. It's pretty cool. It's gonna be pretty cool, actually. But the words that you speak create your reality. And so before we could speak, before we had the ability to speak, and I imagine that this is a very interesting topic for people who are mute or deaf or even speaking different languages, but the principle is still the same. Language makes up our world. There is not a thing in this life that you can think of that doesn't have a word attached to it or an understanding through language. So maybe it's like a feeling, and you know what it feels like, and you can't put words to it exactly, but like there's a group of words that you'd throw in that direction of that feeling. And what people don't realize, I think, is that what I didn't realize, at least in my life, is that how we talk to ourselves and the thoughts that we have about how the world works is literally how the world works, and it's literally who we become. So it's not just what we do. What we do is a product of how we think, and how we think is a product of how we feel. I haven't quite figured that one out yet, if it's the thoughts first or the feelings first, but either way, we create our own reality based on how we talk to ourselves. So if we're not, and so how do we change our words? Well, how do we change our words is based on what we allow into our life. And the first 12 years of your life, at least if you live in America, you're told to go to school. In most cases, you're told how to read, how to write, and what to read and what to write. And of course, math and science and all that stuff, but you're told what to believe and what to think, which, may or may not serve you, just being honest. And in most cases, at least in my case, and a lot of people find out later in life, it didn't serve them. And they're very unhappy with their life, but they don't know why. And they, even if they take self-help, they go see a therapist, or they change their diet, or all those things are wonderful and they help. You can read 1 million books, you can go to courses and seminars, and you can change your diet, you can exercise more, you can change your whole life. But if you don't change your words, you're not hitting the root. And unless I find something deeper than this, other than this, it's your soul. But that's what I'm thinking, that's what I feel, is words are the deepest, most basic part of our existence. And that's, in my opinion, why we don't remember much from infancy to 1 to 2 years old, is because we don't understand words. Something interesting is when I was 2 years old, I could name all the presidents in order that we had at that time. I'm 22, so I think it was like 41 or 42 presidents or whatever. But it is 40, I don't know. But I had a placemat and had all the presidents on it, and I'd just sit there and eat my food. But I was 2 years old and I can name all the presidents. Now I can't probably name more than 20. And not in any order, really. I can name a few. But the point is that words create your reality. So if you're unhappy with how the world is working, and if you're a girl watching this, if you're a female watching this, and you're more intuitive or more emotional, then I noticed that in general the masculine is more logical and the feminine is more intuitive. It could be men or women that experience a greater concentration of one or the other, but the masculine is more logic and word driven and kind of structured, and language is, if you're using it correctly, is structured. And so how do we change our words? Well, the first thing you can do, I mentioned this in other videos, is breathe. Just shut up and breathe. Except you do that about 10, 20, 50, 100 times, because I don't really think anybody, I know at least people in my life, do not consciously pay attention to their breathing. And a book that I read, it's really been valuable in my spiritual journey, or my just journey in general. I don't even know if I want to call it a spiritual journey, just life, was Zen Mind Beginner's Mind by Shunryu Suzuki. He's the guy that first brought Zen Buddhism to the United States in the 70s. And this whole book is like 140 pages or whatever, just basically talks about why breathing and why your posture is important. So how you stand dictates how your body interacts with itself and communicates with itself. So if you are unhappy with the words you're speaking and you're not even really sure, you can read new books and you can listen to new YouTube videos or podcasts or whatever. But that's not necessarily going to change your words. That's just going to give you new words to use or a new perspective to use. And they're probably using the same words you're using. Because what you're drawn to, the books you're drawn to, and the videos or podcasts you're drawn to are probably still within the same sphere as which you are currently working in. They may be a little outside your comfort zone, but many people do not want to step outside their comfort zone. I've been guilty of this a lot. But that I've found, taking action outside of your comfort zone is how we grow. It doesn't mean that being uncomfortable has to be suffering, but it just means that you do something that you're not normally doing. It's not part of your routine. And so if you're curious, if you're really interested, if you really want to change your life and you're not sure how, and you're doing as much as you can, the universe or yourself, your subconscious, is going to send you things. It's going to send you signs and symbols and messages, whether it's through a person walking up to you and you're saying, hey, I think you should read this book. That would be very rare, but it of course could happen. Or it could be something as simple as you stumbling upon this YouTube video or finding it, which it didn't happen by accident, and me recommending a book such as Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. But it's not even the book, really. It's not one specific book you can learn or read, because that book doesn't talk about language, really. It talks about breathing and posture. The biggest thing you can do is just slow down. Just slow down. Notice your throat and your mouth and your voice as you speak, and the words you speak and what sounds they make. I'm talking about going back to your ABCs or whatever language you speak. And as I learn more languages, it's going to be really interesting how this all develops and how symbols and just sound in general creates our reality. I've got some plant experiences that have shown me some things, but I'll save those for some later videos as far as how the world works. So, in conclusion, what you can do is breathe, which will slow you, paying attention to your breath rather than what's going on in your head, what's going on Snapchat. Pause this video, or once it's over, just sit down or stand or whatever, lay down, just breathe. Every night before you go to bed, just lay on your back, hold still. Just hold still. That's the thing, is we're always in motion. We're always moving around. Our mind's moving around, thoughts are moving around, body's moving around. We have unconscious twitches. If you just hold still for like 5 minutes, let alone 20 or 30 or an hour, you'll realize how much your body is moving without you doing anything. And I got another video coming up of what all those kind of movements can mean and how you can use them to your advantage and really start to listen to what your body's telling you. But in the meantime, just stand up straight or sit up straight. Don't overexert yourself. Don't push your body out, but just, nice, wide, broad chest, and your shoulders are straight. Your stance is open. Be open to receiving what the world has for you, and it'll all come to you as the time unfolds. It's nothing happens by accident, which means you don't have any thoughts by accident. You don't have any feelings by accident, and you didn't see this video by accident. So, in conclusion, breathe, stand up straight. I'm gonna be saying that for the rest of my life, and slow down. Stop. Just slow down. I promise it'll work. And if it doesn't work, slow down more, because you can't ever slow down enough. Because the slowest you'll ever be is dead. And if that happens, then you'll be gone. You'll be on the next stage of life, and we'll be talking to you through the spirit realm or something. However that works. But slow down. You can't stop your heart by slowing down. You can't stop your breathing by slowing down. Your body's going to do it automatically, so you'll be okay. And this is a lot better than taking any drugs. Although there's some plants that you can work in harmony with this. It's a lot better than going to a course or a seminar. You can do those things, and those are absolutely valuable. You meet people. I went to courses and seminars, relationships that you'll have for the rest of your life, and they're wonderful, awesome people. But slow down. Just slow down and really start to pay attention to every single word you're saying. So what happened to my nose, I wasn't going slow. This is a perfect example. Playing darts, under my dartboard there's a countertop, and this countertop is not attached to the shelf it's sitting on, and I jumped up to grab a dart because it was too high because I missed the board, and I leaned on the countertop, came up, smacked me in the nose, and the very first thing I thought is your nose is not broken, which is a really subtle thought, but that's the thought I had, and I'm bleeding everywhere, ended up going to the hospital, and Turns out, got some x-rays, wasn't broken, body new. So your body can digest your food, it can beat your heart for you, and it creates your thoughts and your feelings, and it regulates your body temperature and all these wonderful things that we take for granted. So pay attention to those things, slow down. Whatever you're focusing on is not as important as what you are. And I'm saying this to myself as I say this, not to be condescending on whatever you're doing, just pay attention to what you are, not and who you are, and you'll have astronomical changes. So hope you all have a wonderful day. Look forward to hearing from you and talking with you, and seeing your comments down below if you have any questions about this or any experiences you'd like to share. Get outside in nature, walking the dog every day. Do what you can to just slow down and relax, and it's all part of the process. So see you guys.